And we back. Welcome back to another episode of the Get Buckets podcast, powered by Harwooding Basketball. I'm your host, Musa Marathi. It's that time of year, region time, baby. So, when I put on my story earlier yesterday, I was just talking about how, I had already made a video and how it was supposed to come out. And basically, it was just going to be talking about the 5A region and what I thought it was going to be like. But, man, after 24 hours and just even a couple of days earlier, I have a whole list of things at this point and all the divisions, whether it be 1A all the way to 5A, that definitely just listen, man. And there's no better way to start it than just start talking about how Riverside upsets, I'm gonna say upsets Eastside in Eastside's first region game and Riverside's second region game. So if you don't know, this puts Riverside at 2-0 in their region after Riverside defeated Lawrence by about 20 points last week on Friday. So now Riverside's 2-0 in their own region, and Eastside is 0-1. 0-1 is not too bad, but I was actually able to talk to one of the Eastside guys tonight, and he was actually explaining how Eastside was up by about 13 with 4 minutes left. And then, he said they went cold. They went cold, and Riverside just took advantage of that. And by the time they tied it up, they went into overtime. I heard Mikel made a layup, and they got up by 3. And then, Justin Ray tried to tie it up, but was unable to come through this game for the Eastside Eagles. And this is a huge rivalry game. Even me personally, I thought Eastside would have this win. I'm not saying, I wanted to talk about Riverside because I did watch them play over the weekend when they did play Boiling Springs, and I didn't feel like they were. I definitely didn't think they were a bad team, especially like I even said, if they had Julian back, it was gonna be a game changer. And Julian is back. Julian Iturbe is back. One of the better names, one of the better players in the Greenville County area. Another key role that I have really failed to mention this season, Drew Cannon, just a sniper from the 3-point line. And watching Mikey, I also have to mention Mikey, man, definitely a real hooper for the freshman class, and can get to that cup at will. Not doesn't really shoot the ball too much, but can get to that cup at will anytime he likes. But moving on from that, that already took my surprise. I wake up this morning seeing that Riverside won. But moving on from that, I saw that Burns, and okay, this is actually outside of the Greenville County area, but Burns lost to a storming Spartanburg team. So Spartanburg last year was not very strong. I think they didn't do very well in region. They weren't a very good team in general. And even this season, they were 2-8 at one point. But man, recently they've been putting it together. They're on a 4-game win streak. And Burns, which was actually ranked second in the whole state in 5A, just lost by 6 points last night to Spartanburg. Just lost to Spartanburg High. And this is kind of a rival game. They're both around in the same area, two large schools going at it. And I talked about how Spartanburg got some dogs. I don't really know the insights to this game, but even just seeing that Burns lost, that just goes to show anyone can win a game in region. I mean, these games, the amount of just fluctuation and upsets that go on, it's all about whoever's going on for that night, especially in the bigger schools. There's gonna be dogs out there at all moments, and there's gonna be skillful players no matter who you play. Because I mean, there's 2,000 maybe kids at these schools. There's definitely gonna be some talent out there. But moving on from that, let's switch it up to 1A real quick. Ali Khan out of High Point Academy hits a game winner over St. Joe's to get their first, I believe, their first region win in the region, which I talked about with Cameron Franklin the other day. Man, Ali Khan's been putting on this season. I talked about him in my breakout players list, and St. Joe's is a tough team to play against. It was kind of a low scoring game, but I watched the clip, man, and dang, it was a tough shot. It was a tough shot. I'm gonna admit it. It was a tough shot. Low scoring game. St. Joe's really makes their mark there their signature is defense and just holding the opposite team to as few points as possible. And they were just unable to come through. I'm not saying St. Joe's isn't a good team, though. I mean, High Point is a good team. I mean, High Point is another strong team, which I explained, led by Ali Khan and all the and just I just had to mention it, man. So Ali Khan made a game winner last night with what the other two games I explained. Fourth, Woodmont beats JL Man by 2 in the 5A region, which I was gonna, introduce the 5A region, but I might as well just we're in region now. It's exciting. It's exciting, man. Woodmont beats JL Man by 2 at JL Man, actually at JL Man. So this is big for Woodmont. I'm not able to really watch any region games in detail, but this is big just because they were able to go into another home gym and get the dub, get their first win. Them and Teal Hanna got the first win in their region. Teal Hanna, I believe, beat Malden by about 15 in their first game. But yeah, I did have to mention that because this game, I didn't get to watch it, but I bet it was a good one all the way through. Natambu, West Kettler, those two seniors, man, they probably be going at it for sure. Oh, fifth, Greer might be one of the nicest 4As. Now, of course, I'm always talking about Greenville High, but Greer, man, and this is no slight at Wade Hampton. I still believe Wade Hampton is a very strong team, but Greer was able to defeat Wade Hampton in their first game by about 26 points, I believe. And this was all behind Amari Anderson's 28 points, which I did put on my story, and just dominant play from him, Braden Lights and Braden Dura, just bringing that mentality. This was played at Greer, but then again they came back and they defeated Lawrence at Lawrence, and that puts them at 2-0. So the Greer and Riverside are at 2-0 in their region, and that's just I'm told y'all. I said Greer's gonna be not an underdog, but they're gonna be tough in that region. So, if Eastside, if they can get back on track, that's gonna be a game that's important to get because that's a strong team. Greer is no joke. I don't care. Greer is no joke. But moving on, Christ Church wins by 64 over Brazier. Now, I really wasn't gonna mention this, but I just saw the score and I was just like, man, that's crazy. I did see. Hey, also shout out to my boy Adam Brown. Adam Brown. I saw he got his first in-game dunk against Brazier, and that's big. Hey, he's a sophomore. He's showing off the bunnies. So shout out to Adam for that. But winning by 64. I believe the score was like it was high 90s to it was like 94-30. So it was damn, it's just wild, man. That's good defense and good offense, man. So Christ just had to shout that out. Next note I have is Shannon Forest is just too good for Skeeza. It doesn't matter who they play. Oak Brook, who I feel is probably the second, at least in my opinion, the second best team in their region. They won by 40. Like it's crazy. It's wild, man. These four boys, three seniors that I be talking about, Nolan, Chris, and Brandon just be putting it together every single night. And Chris actually just was able to get his 1,000th point, So that's all three of them covered for this season. And forgot to mention, West Kettler also got his 1,000-point game last week. So it's 1,000-point season. Oh, and Justin Ray got his 1,000 points. So shout out to them boys. It's 1,000-point season, I guess, and Shannon is just putting in the work, man. No one seems to stand in their way. And like I said, go get that Skeeza championship. Greenville escapes Berea's push. I talked to my friend who I've also had on here in the past, Houston, and he was just explaining how Berea was knocking everything down at the beginning. And I talked about this, man. Berea is fun to watch because even though they don't really have one guy they can exactly go to, they all play hard. And I feel like they're always going to be the underdog in every scenario because they're all young guys. They have the freshman big man, and the rest of them are basically all sophomores. And they're just going out there and hooping, I heard Destin Eckelberger had another solid game last night. And, I've talked about him in the past. An aggressive guard, can shoot, can get to the rim. And that's just good to see, man. Just them having this mentality now. Just imagine them in a few years. And I was actually saying this. Now, listen to this proposal. Fountain Inn, which is the 9th and 10th grade school right now, but, in the future they'll have 11th and 12th grade. But I was saying in 2 years, Fountain Inn versus Berea is going to be the game to watch. Two schools, and I guarantee you by then, the development of these players is going to be insane, and the amount of dogs out there, man, that would be fun to watch. But yeah, Greenville won by 9 in this game at Berea, I believe, at Berea. So, just a tough fought game. Greenville, I've said one of the best 4As, and they didn't just easily win this game. The second to last thing I have here, Carolina came into region. They did lose last night by a good amount to TR, but they did get in the first game that they played, they did get the win over Chapman by 7 points, led by Zantario Spurgeon dropping 27 points. And, I've talked about him a little bit and just saying how he has to really lead that team. And I just need him to lead them consistently, man. I mean, I understand he might not have the pieces around him all the time, but if he can perform the way I feel like he should be able to, their team can at least do solid in region and hopefully make playoffs. They did go against a tough TR team yesterday. I failed to even mention TR's been cooking in their region, man. Just putting it on. Absolutely. They blew out both Broome and Carolina Academy in their first 2 games, putting them at 2-0 in the 3A region in Greenville County. But I just had to mention how Z from Carolina did have 27, and even though they were on a fall dive after early December, he was able to at least give them some life after that win over Chapman. And like I've heard, region's always it's a new season, and if Carolina can put it together, that'll be big, especially in his last season, Zantario's last season. And lastly, I just had to mention how Broome, another team outside of Greenville County, it's Spartanburg County, defeats Blue Ridge by an emotional 1-point victory last night. Man, Blue Ridge has been playing hard all season, and just that tough loss. They are right now only 0-1 in region, and they could easily turn that around. But Broome, led by Brady Poole and his brother Coy Poole, that it's always going to be a tough matchup defensively. You really got to key in on Brady, and really just it's a tough matchup. But that will about do it, man. Riverside is on a tear. Riverside is coming. They, like I said, they got Julian back. And they playing well. I hope my boy Ryland's turning up out there as well. At that point guard positioning, he has to be. I mean, they're winning games at this point, so I don't see why he couldn't be. But that would be about it. Let me know if you think anything wasn't surprising. I felt like at least the Burns and Spartanburg game, that definitely caught me by surprise, and even Riverside beating Eastside. I did hear that Justin was triple teamed when he shot the 3 to try and call game, but the team's going to come back together, hopefully regroup, and just focus on the next game, because you can't really affect the past, but you can always affect the future, and preparing is more important than dwelling. So I say good luck to all of these teams, and good luck to any team I failed to mention. The Malden video will be coming out. I will be talking about Malden High School, and probably more in depth in Riverside, since I was able to watch these 2 teams. But that'll do it. And until next time, until the next region update, Musa Murithi signing off. Peace.